Welcome to today's Doodle tutorial where I teach you how to digitize a realistic eye with ease. Stick around to the end to learn all the tips and tricks. Shout out to Roxanne on our Doodle Facebook group for suggesting this tutorial. Make sure to click the link in the description to join our ever-growing group. And also, don't forget to click the link in the description to check out the Design Doodler for PC and the iPad companion. Let's get started. So here I am on the Design Doodler and I'm using a tablet that comes with a pen. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to import my image. So I'm gonna go to my desktop, and under the desktop I can double click and open Realistic Eye. Now on the right side I'm gonna click my hoop size and I'm going to resize this image. To resize it, I'm going to click this button down here so that I can now grab the image and resize it down. I'm going to make this image about 3.5 inches, somewhere around that. Now we can click 1 to 1, 1 to 3, or 1 to 6 to zoom in, and this is on the right side. If you guys haven't used the Design Doodler before and you want to see a full walkthrough, make sure to click this video up here to learn all of the basic tools that the Design Doodler has to offer. I'm going to go 1/3, and if you guys saw any of the previous videos, we used a couple tools. We mainly used the single run tool, which is right here. We also used the steel tool as well as the fill tool. Now this eye can honestly be done with one color, with a black color if you really wanted to, but I think to give it that extra pop to this design, we're going to include gray and white as well. So in total it's going to be thread colors, black, gray, and white. And like always, I always like to start with black, so I'm going to select the black color. I'm going to choose my colors and the palettes, and the black is automatically selected. Next I'm gonna go to run. That's going to be my single run stitch, and what is this, 3mm? That's fine. And we can do a free shape. Yep, that's perfect. This design, I'm still gonna try to do it all in one run, which means that I'm going to try and avoid jumping or cutting or trimming or anything like that. So I'm just always gonna try and go back, and my goal is going to be to do, actually let me switch it to another color just really quickly, just to red. My goal is gonna be to do 2 passes or 1 pass back and forth on every single hair as much as I can. So you'll see right here, that's 1 pass, then I'll travel to the next one, that's 1 pass, then I'll travel to the next one, that's 1 pass, like so, 1 pass, 1 pass. And you'll see that this little circle right here, when I hover above it, it means that it's going to continue under that same shape, meaning it's not going to trim, and this makes the whole design run a lot faster and smoother when you're embroidering it. So I'm just going to select everything by clicking this tool right here. I'm going to delete. All right, so let's get started. I just chose the color red so it makes it easier for you guys to see, and I'm gonna do 1 pass on all those hairs. I'm only going to be selecting the darkest ones because, like I said, we're going to be using a couple colors. So the dark gray will take care of some of these. It's also so that I don't have to create too many stitches on one single spot, which could cause the bulletproof design. So I'm just moving around here. If I have to travel, then I will do 1 single stitch like that, but I'm going to try my best to return back. So just doing 1. Right there is perfect. This one's pretty long, so I'm gonna go all the way up there, return, there we go. Just doing a bunch of these, and I think right here I kind of want to travel up here, so I am gonna end up doing 1 more around there, no problem. I'll return right there, we'll do 1, and we can continue right here. Have you guys had a chance to do a little bit of anime? I did see a couple of you that created some cool cartoon style designs from the previous tutorials that we did, and honestly I gotta say you guys are doing a fantastic job with the Doodler. The way that this community is getting built up is so amazing. So thank you guys for trying it out and experimenting. It's honestly so cool to see all of the things that you guys can create and come up with. So right here, I am just creating a single line as opposed to following it 100% just because it's kind of a lot. So honestly guys, don't worry too much if you find yourself that you get lost. Honestly, I did get lost a little bit right here, so I'm just trying to backtrack a little bit, create some of these hairs. You can see I'm still doing my best at doing 1 or 2 passes max. And at the end of the day, this is ultimately a sketch. So you can always transform a sketch a little bit. It is doing its best to look realistic, but of course, this isn't necessarily 100% a real eye. So I'm just gonna do a couple of these, return, awesome. And let's finish these right here. Cool. And 1, 2, and return. I think I'm gonna stop, go all the way down here, because again, I don't want to stop over here at the end and then have to jump. That's just gonna, you know, have to trim and it'll take longer. So you guys already know by now, I'm not a fan of jumping, so I just try to avoid it as much as possible. Same thing here. This looks like they went really hard with the pencil, so I'm gonna try and include it. I'm not gonna go too crazy like I did with the other anime panel. I did go back and forth a little bit too much, whereas this part I'm trying to just go a little bit more smoother, where I go up and down. Not there, of course, we'll do that a little bit later, but for now we're just trying to cover this back right here. Awesome. So right here, should I just try and do the tiny details? I guess we could. We could kind of go inside of the eye just so that I can go. I'm going to try and go here. Fill this up. 1, 2, 3. I'll do a little couple there and then finish there and then return. Because I'm a little bit zoomed in, I'm not too worried about these being perfect, because if I go 1-to-1, this is the actual size. So to me, the way that I see it, I have absolutely no need to be going in so detailed, because those stitches will still be on top of each other. Let me remove the image so you can see what that looks like. And that's looking a little bit weird, okay? So let's take it off for now. Here, what I can do is I can just go back and forth a couple times. Not too many times. There's no need to go too crazy. I think that's pretty good. For me, now that I'm thinking about this, at least with the outline color, simplicity is best. So I'll try my best to let the other colors shine. As you can see, I'm going back and forth a couple times right there. 1. I just go and return, so it's not trimming or jumping. It's going back and it's going to embroider the whole black color all in one. If some of these eyelashes are a little thicker, then maybe I'll integrate like that. I'll add like an extra one. But so far, I have no need to do that. Here, I'm just going to add a little bit of that extra black outline by creating a couple back and forths. But again, nothing too much. Remember guys, drink your water. It's very important when you digitize to drink water. That way you keep your brain sharp and you're digitizing clean. Back and forth, 1, and then return. Here, because it's a little thicker, you can kind of start bunching a little bit of these up. Again, I'm not gonna go too crazy with it, but I am starting to give it a little bit more density. Right here, it looks like the pen didn't put it down properly. I'm actually using a different tablet now, one that's a little bit bigger, so I'm just getting used to the tablet being at a different angle, so it's just different pressure for my hand to get used to again, which is fine. I like it. It's pretty cool. Here, I feel like I should have gone all the way down, but you know what? Let's just fix it up by going back and forth a couple times. That's the beauty of this being just full black color. You won't necessarily notice it, but I'm also not going to overdo it too much. Something like that. And if I weren't doing that, I would probably do a tatami, but I think that for now, I just want to see what that looks like. In the previous videos, I did kind of try doing something like that, but then I changed it back to satin. So this time, or a tatami, I mean, so this time I really want to see what it looks like if I just freehand it all with a single stitch, with a single run. So let's go. You see, it gets easier. You kind of start seeing the single hairs. It allows you to fully focus on one and then just go to the next one, connect everything together. Very simple, and you can get pretty fast once you get used to the pen. So, and see, I'm gonna take out the image. It looks cool, but again, this is 1/3 ratio, so it's definitely zoomed in. And I'm gonna go all the way down here, go back and forth a couple times, do these little hairs down here, try to not exaggerate too much. I'm gonna save that outline for now, not gonna touch it yet. And here, this is what I was talking about. I'll just go back and forth a couple times, that one as well. Nothing too crazy. All right. Wow, this eye looks pretty awesome, doesn't it? So for this, what can I do? What I'm thinking for this one, first, I guess let's take care of these eyelashes up here, because these are definitely thicker. I'm gonna do one back and forth. Oh, and we also have the iris back and forth, something like that. Awesome. Let's do the same thing. Let's go a couple of these. We'll probably do a couple of those in gray as well, so I'm not gonna go too crazy with doing these just in the black outline. Very simple. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna return like this all the way back here, and then return back one more time. And then for fun, we're gonna do it 3 times like that. Yeah, that looks cool. Now you can see that on this eye, it's kind of like a sketch. So I'm gonna do a couple as well. 1, 2, 3, not too many, just like that. And then I'm going to shade it manually like that. Awesome. Cool. Now let's go up here, and I'm going to do that bow manually as well. Something like that. Try to not overdo it too much. That might have been a little bit too much, but then again, experimenting like always. And then what's the last thing? No, I think that's pretty much it. Let's see, I'm gonna do 1-to-1. I'm gonna take out the image, and what we'll do is we're gonna grab everything and we're just gonna switch the color to black. Ooh, that looks cool, doesn't it, guys? Very interesting. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to red because I want to be able to now see the white color so that it's easy. 1/3. Let's enable the eye again, and under the palettes, I'm just gonna switch the color to probably green. What's your favorite word? Probably green. Okay. Now, there really isn't a lot of white here, and this part really depends on the background sweater design that you're gonna have. For example, if I want to embroider on this sweater, I'd probably add a full white base, but because I'm gonna be testing this out on a white fabric, I'm going to be skipping out doing the white itself. So no need to be creating a full base all around the design. Instead, we're just gonna focus on doing the highlights. You can see a couple highlights here, and I think I'm just gonna do everything manually. So I'm gonna go like this, and I'm not gonna create too many just because we're still gonna put the light gray underneath. So there's no need to go a little too crazy with them. I think something like that is already good enough. And if we really wanted to, we can also add some highlights up here. But because I'm using a white fabric, you're not gonna notice this. So the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my sequence view, and I'm gonna bring the lime green all the way to the top so it's underneath the black color. Now let's do 1-to-1. You can kind of see a little bit of the green, but again, it's not too much. It's not meant to be that way. And then let's switch to another color because we're gonna do the light gray. I'll probably switch to this blue right here, and again, 1/3. Now this looks very artistic, this whole area right here. I don't know, do I want to do it like that? I kind of feel like I want to add more of my own take to it. So you know what, just for fun, we're going to switch our brush to the fill. And on the fill tool, I'm just going to create the full fill of this eyebrow like that. It's fine like that for now. Or you know what, no, let's actually Let's grab the fill. I'm going to select the start and the stop, and I'm going to change the angle to something like that. The reason I'm doing that is because the hairs are going that way, so I want this one to go this way, almost like a little bit of a crosshatch. All right, next, let's go down this way. And here we have two options. We could either do this by hand so that we can make it look hand stitched, but to be honest, I don't really like it like that, so I think I'm gonna stick to something like this for now. And again, start right there, and stop, I'm probably gonna make it stop there, and the angle, I'm probably gonna set it to something like that. Awesome. Now here, if I really want to, I can switch to my single run, and I can just add a couple of these if you want to, nothing too crazy. All right, same thing here. Let's start playing around with a little bit of these. I don't want to go too overboard with it because we did kind of create a base as opposed to just doing like hand stitch look. We're just mixing a couple of these. If you guys are super confused about anything that I'm talking about right now, then please make sure to click the link in the description so you guys can check out the digitizing cheat sheet. As well as if you are interested in the Doodler, just remember that we do include a lot of free education lessons that will help you understand all of the program. And John Deere created a bunch of beautiful little lessons so that you guys can understand why we create with these tools. All right. I just added that one right there. I don't know if you guys can hear the background, but it's starting to rain. I love the sound of rain. It is so beautiful, so I'm pretty happy. So this design just kind of has like a couple of these random like scratches, so I feel like I kind of want to add them. It's definitely not necessary and it might make the design look a little awkward, so we're gonna find out how it looks in a bit when we get to embroider it. But you know what? I just love doing this with the Doodler, just playing around with it, just kind of figuring out what works and what doesn't. And that's what you should be doing as soon as you get the program, is just play around with it. You know, you're gonna find out the things that work for you, the things that don't work for you, and all of the tools that you enjoy. For me, this has been my favorite type of digitizing to do thus far, so I'm just gonna put this so that it starts here, and I want it to end here. And then for this, do I want the angle like this as well? All right, so I'm gonna go 1-to-1. I think I'm pretty much done with the gray. Oh no, we have the eye. Of course, the most important part. All right, so let's go up here to the eye. And for this one, I could either do it manually, so I think I am going to just do a couple of these effects manually like so. I'm gonna try to not go too crazy because it's easy to overdo it. Something like that. And I'm going to do it on the bottom too, where the black color is. Something like that. And just do a couple of those round circles. Can kind of cover up anything else we want at this point because this is all gonna go under the black. That looks awesome. All right, I'm gonna go 1-to-1, see what that looks like. And you're like, Ken, that looks so weird. What is going on? We still have one more step. And if you guys watched the previous episodes, you already know what we're doing. We're gonna go under the properties, and on the properties, we're gonna click travel on edge. You can see that the shape already changed, and that's because the density became 1.2 and the stitches are traveling on the edge, which makes it look really nice, really neat. And that's it. I think that was all we had. I dropped my phone for the 5th time today. The last thing we're gonna do under layers is we're gonna grab the blue and we're gonna bring it all the way to the top. So this will embroider first, then the lime green, and then the red. Well, let's change those colors so that it looks really cool. For the first one, which is the blue, we're gonna choose a dark gray. For the lime green, we're gonna choose white because that was the white one. And for the red, we're gonna choose the black. Wow. And then take off the image. Take a look at that. 1-to-1. So that is the size. And now I'm going to click the 3 dots, view slow redraw, and we can press play. You can see that's the travel on edge right there. It's going to do the gray first, then the white highlights, and at last it's going to do the black Let's see how much density we ended up adding. I'm pretty confident that it's gonna look really good, but we're gonna find out after we embroider this. So let's take care of that. And here's the final result of this design. As you guys saw in the embroidery, everything went really well. There were not too many overlapping stitches, so definitely no bulletproof at all, and honestly looks really cool. I think let's see. If you look at it from really far away, it does look like a sketch or a drawing. But let me know what you guys think of it in the comments. I myself feel like this part right here, I almost wish like I did it in the way that I did this part, where I added some kind of streak lines, because now it almost looks like realism but also 2D style. I'm not 100% sure what to call it, but overall, I'm really happy with the eye. I'm just really happy overall that there's no bulletproof. This design ended up being only 7,200 stitches for an almost 4x4 inch design, which is quite a lot. Let me know if you guys would like to see a different version, maybe a colored version, maybe one that will put on an actual black embroidered hoodie. I do love the way that it looks, so I think it would look really cool. Maybe 2 eyes, I don't know. Make sure you comment down below your ideas, as well as join the Design Doodler Facebook group so that you guys can ask any questions. We're always helping each other out there, so I hope to see you guys over there. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more. Click on this video, and I'll see you on the next doodling tutorial. Take care, embroidery family. See you on the next one. Bye bye.